Jen Chap here. It's the end of another school day. Thank God tomorrow is Friday. So, shout out to all my students who have made me famous. I decided to get my son over here who knows a lot about nutrition and stuff. So I'm gonna ask him a question, and I'm gonna talk about sugar this time, by the way. I mentioned that in my other videos, and a lot of people, in fact, have been talking about sugar because there's this new documentary out called What the Health, and it has a lot of misinformation about sugar and tries to tell you that sugar is okay and it's okay, diabetes doesn't cause diabetes. Yeah, it's common sense. So let's get started. So this is my son Ben, and Ben is from he has a channel called RunnersMotivation.
It'll be in the link in the description, and we'll post it right here so you guys can see it. It'll be right here where my fingers are.
So, but we've been talking about sugar. So, what would you say, in your opinion, are the most harmful effects of sugar?
Harmful effects? Well, first let's talk about sugar, okay?
Okay.
So sugar, first off, there's no good or bad sugar. Sugar is just bad for you in general. There is fake sugars that I guess you could say better for you because it doesn't raise insulin, but there's no good or bad sugar. So when you're eating sugar, it's just bad in general. You shouldn't be eating a lot. And they say the daily recommended allowance is 9 tablespoons or basically 36 grams. But that's still a lot of sugar in a day, and you shouldn't be taking, I wouldn't take more than about 2 or 3. Sugar, what happens is it raises insulin. So insulin is this hormone in your body that raises when you have sugar or carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is the same exact thing as sugar. So when you're eating bread, pasta, anything that has lots of carbohydrates, it raises insulin just like sugar does. When your insulin raises, it turns the leftover carbohydrates and the leftover insulin turns and stores in your body as fat. So you're just getting fatter by eating lots of sugar and lots of carbohydrates. So you shouldn't be eating lots of sugar and lots of carbohydrates. You should make it moderate. You should still have some in your diet because most people run off of carbohydrates as energy. So you should have healthier carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, brown rice, beans, anything that's healthier and organic, and don't be taking in, anything that has, like popcorn, any unhealthy popcorn, snacks, anything that's canned, anything like that is going to be really bad for you. If you're going to eat beans, cook your own beans. If you can eat sweet potatoes, buy your own sweet potatoes and cook them. Same thing with brown rice. Don't go buy rice from Panda Express or from any fast food places because that's going to be unhealthy for you. And the other thing is that how she was talking about what the health. Well, basically the thing they were trying to say is that diabetes is not caused by high amounts of sugar, or it's not caused by sugar. They didn't say high amounts, but they're saying it's not caused by sugar or carbohydrates, which is not true, because what happens is when you have diabetes, your blood sugar is too high. When your blood sugar is too high, I mean, think about the name of that, blood sugar. That means that you have too much sugar in your blood, which is caused by not just sugar, but by carbohydrates. So you'll be eating lots and lots of unhealthy rice and beans and other things like that and tortillas. You could still have diabetes even if you cut out all sugars in your diet. It's still possible to have that. So you got to be lower in the carbohydrates. I would say if you're checking your macros and you're counting how much percentages, I wouldn't go over 50% carbs, and I would increase you guys' fats a little bit. A lot of people don't have a lot of fats in their diet. Think
healthy fats.
Well, healthy fats.
Not McDonald's. That's not good
people
fat.
Think, well, good fats are your HDL. Your LDL is your bad fats, is your bad cholesterol. Your HDL is your good cholesterol. So you want to have foods that have HDL, such as coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, full fat coconut milk, nuts, anything that's like that. That's going to be organic, non-GMO. It's going to be
salmon.
Yeah, it's going to be healthier for you. Salmon's pretty hard to find good salmon.
It's true.
And salmon doesn't have too much fats, but it has some. I would say if you're going to eat like meat, eat grass-fed meats that has a lot better fats. Don't eat your McDonald's meat. Don't go to the store and buy, I don't even know what those hamburgers are called. We used to eat all the time. They're not healthy. They're like a pack of 24 for like $10.
Exactly.
Don't eat that stuff. That's not going to be healthy for you, and that's going to make you overweight. And a lot of people think that going on, a diet like that is super hard to do and it's impossible. Really, you got to take simple steps. The steps I usually say to take is the first thing you do is drink only water. Try to drink, if you can drink like
Or kombucha.
Yeah, but I would say start out and drink for the first 2 months only water. Don't drink anything else. Don't drink milk. Don't drink coffee. Nothing but water. And it's gonna be hard. You want to try to drink healthier waters. So if you can get like a filtered water, that would be good. Or get some like Fiji water or something like that. That's good. But if you can't, drink only water for 2 months. And you can start out doing it, you know, only water for 2 days out of the week, 3 days, and build up to it. But you want to do it. You want to get to the point where it's only water for about 2 months. Then you want to go into cutting out all sugars. So anything that has over 3 grams of sugar in it, I would cut out. I would try to cut out all sugars if you can. But there's certain things like almond butter or peanut butter that might have like 2 or 3 grams. So that's not bad, because that stuff is still, almond butter is still pretty healthy for you. But if it has like less than 3 grams per serving, I would say it's fine. And then after that, you want to do processed foods. Processed foods will be the hardest. I would say sugar is a little bit easier because
processed foods, you have to work. You have to cut up your food.
Yeah, you have to cut up all your food, and
you gotta buy it fresh. You gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah, you can't go to fast food. You can't go to Subway. You can't go to any of those places. All processed. So that's gonna be the hardest step. But it's not just like you say, okay, I'm gonna cut out all sugars. It might just be you cut out, you know, one type of candy bar or something, but you go in small amounts. It took me about 3 years, or 2 to 3 years to get to where I'm at. So it takes time. And I wanted to do it really badly. There's some people that don't want to do it. So I would say if it's really hard for you, just start out maybe 1 day only drinking water. And then once you get into it, and then once you really get into your diet and you've been doing it for like about 3 or 4 months and you're really into doing that, then you can start throwing back in different foods you used to eat just in small amounts. And you can start throwing in, you know, almond milk, full fat coconut milk, kombucha, different drinks like that. But at first you want to just do only water, because that's going to make it better for you.
But the other thing too is when you start taking the sugar out of your diet, at first, I don't know if he experienced this, but for me, my moods were crazy because, you know, sugar is an addiction. It's truly an addiction in your brain. So, I mean, it was really difficult at first for me. But then once it was gone, when he's talking about being motivated to keep eating healthy, after you start feeling better,
you don't want to go back.
Yeah, you don't want to go back. You just do not want to go back, because a lot of times, even when you're his age, you didn't even realize how good you could feel.
No, and then when I was eating, sugar wasn't that bad, but carbohydrates, when I went to a low carbohydrate diet, the first meal I ate, not even the first, like, after the first day of effects, so the first meal I wanted to throw up, because I didn't have any carbs, any sugars in it, and it was really hard. After the first couple meals though, it like got better and it got easier, but it's hard. Like taking out sugar is gonna be the hardest thing. So you're gonna have to do it really, really slowly. You're not gonna, don't try to do it all at once, because you're just gonna fail, and then you're gonna get mad that you didn't do it, and then you're gonna want to do it over and over. And you keep doing that over and over again, when you just need to make sure you just do it little bit by little bit. Just take out one little thing at a time. It could be the smallest thing. You know, it could be, I'm not gonna eat, you know, like I said, 1 candy bar, 1 piece of candy that you normally eat, you know, almost every day. Just take that out. Find stuff that, you know, if you don't eat something regularly, you only eat it once a week, just take it out. Like, I don't even eat this regularly, so now I'm just never gonna eat it. And when you go out with your friends and you go, you know, want to have a beer, or you want to go, you know, go out and eat and stuff like that, just go out with them. Maybe you don't eat, maybe you just get some water, do something like that. But after you get into your diet for about 2 or 3 months, it's fine to go out and do that, you know, once a month, you know, something like that. Just once in a while.
If you're 21.
Well, to eat unhealthy, I'm saying. If you go out and eat, like, it's okay to do it like once a month, but just make sure you can feel your body, you know, eating bad foods and knowing it's bad.
Absolutely.
If you can't tell it's bad, and you just like feel like it feels like the same as me eating other foods, and you're probably not eating healthy enough, and you probably haven't been eating healthy long enough to be able to tell that. Usually it takes 4 to 6 weeks, but it depends on each person. It could take you, you know, 3 or 4 months. I mean, the older you are, I'd say the longer it's going to take, because you've been eating unhealthy your whole life. But if you're my age, it'll probably only take, you know, 4 weeks, depending on the person. And if you're lighter in weight too, just naturally it'll probably go by faster, because you have a faster metabolism. If you're someone that's heavier, you probably have a slower metabolism, so it might take longer to get all the, you know, bad stuff out of your body.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, I promised a lot of people that I would show them this kale sausage recipe. So let's move over to the kitchen and I will show you what I cooked tonight. Okay, this is a recipe and it is based on my bone broth. So bone broth is just what it sounds like. It's bone broth. And what I did was I just went to the Save Mart and I got sausage that doesn't have any preservatives in it. And so I put the bone broth in there first. I cut up the sausage. I threw in some sweet potatoes. I got some organic kale. And at the very end, so basically that's all that's there. Bone broth, sausage, sweet potatoes, kale, and then at the very end, I throw in a whole can of full-fat coconut milk. And you can buy that in the can, make sure that it's organic, non-GMO. Sometimes I put a little bit extra salt in here. Sometimes I've even put in a couple of teaspoons of crushed seaweed. You can't even taste it, but it gives it some more nutrients in there. So we're gonna have that tonight, even though it's 107 outside. But, you know, hey. That's it. Thanks for watching the Jen Chat channel.